excited to learn more about term insurance from you.
Same here.
So, like, segueing into the actual question that people would want to understand, and I myself, is what exactly is life insurance and is it the same thing as term insurance?
So life insurance consists of different products, right? Which basically covers a person's life, gives benefit to their family members or whoever the nominees in case the person passes away. Term insurance specific is basically the first or the basic product that everybody should buy. It by the name itself, it says it's the simplest type of time bond life insurance plan that anybody can take if they want to protect their loved ones in case of untimely death of the insured. That's what I would say. So it's basically is the cheapest product and it's time bond. Like the name itself says, it's time bond. Term insurance is for a particular term. So anything from you can take a policy anything from 5 years to up to 40 years, uh,
Okay.
purely to safeguard your the interest of your loved ones.
Okay. So, according to you, everybody should buy term insurance. For instance, I am a 28
Yes.
year old single woman living in Dubai, and does term insurance make sense for me?
Everybody. So anybody who is a earning member or anybody I mean, on him, there is a dependency basically. Like some people ask me whether housewives can take it. Yes, housewives can take term insurance because there is a dependability. Uh, but there are limitations. Now, again, if you say there's a 21-year-old guy who asked me whether can I take a term insurance, I say obviously you can. If you're an earning member, which means there is somebody who is dependent on you, right?
Yeah.
It could
Hmm.
be your parents, it could be a spouse, it could be anybody, right? So if there is anybody who is dependent on your income, then definitely you should take a term insurance.
Okay. And does the term insurance, like the policy in itself, come into effect only if something happens to the person who's taken the insurance, or is there like more of a cover involved, or there are like different plans?
So basic term insurance product only covers death, right? There are
Okay.
add-on benefits which we call as riders or supplementary benefits that can be attached to a policy. For example, most term insurance policies come in with a terminal illness benefit. Uh, I
Okay.
mean, it's an add-on. There is two kind of riders, or two or three, many kind of riders that they can take. Usually, people take a permanent total disability rider or a critical illness rider. So
A
these
rider
are
is an addition to the
yes.
insurance
So basically,
policy.
when you have a death cover, you can add a critical illness rider or a supplementary benefit basically to the plan. And if anything happens to you, if you, I mean, unfortunately, if you uh, happen to be diagnosed with a critical illness or you have a permanent total disability, then the claim triggers. So it can be an additional benefit, which basically reduces the accidental benefits, basically which reduces the sum cover of the death benefit, or it can be an additional benefit, which is basically mm, over the death benefit that is.
Okay, understood. Understood. All right. So, according to you, for people in the UAE, what would be the best term insurance? Go on.
Uh, I mean, I I can't say which is the best term insurance product. Every individual has a need,
Okay.
and uh, every company would provide a certain plan to everybody, right? So, term insurance is something that you have to buy depending on, and it's basically priced, or a lot of things that is there is based on what exactly you want. For example, somebody who would be looking at a cheap term insurance, he can buy from a company which is offering a cheap product. But there are some exclusions depending on your health, your smoking status, affordability, or probably even the kind of professional environment he is in. your best term policy could differ. It is basically a personal choice. What is best for me cannot be a best for you. It can, you can basically, another policy would be best for you probably, right? So there is no best term insurance policy, just that the benefits and the premiums, or the exclusions and inclusions vary. So it's basically best for that person, I would say.
Understood. Okay. Before we continue, I would like to tell the audience that if you have any questions, you can leave them in the live chat box and we'll convey them to Joseph. We were talking about, the best plan. Is age also a factor when you're considering the kind of plan that you want to take?
Definitely. The earlier that you buy, the cheaper it is. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I know you might ask me a question. Okay, if I'm old enough, should I take a term policy? There's no correct time actually.
Okay, so
The
an
time that you buy,
18-year-old, for instance, can take it if he started earning, basically.
yes, of course. Anybody who is above 18, in some
Mm.
cases about 20, can take a term policy. There's no right time. The earlier that you buy, it turns out to be cheaper, right?
Okay, okay. Joseph, we have one question from Travel Beings on YouTube. Can I get worldwide coverage with term insurance? Is that a possibility? Getting
Yes, all
worldwide coverage?
policies are having worldwide coverage. You travel to any part of the world, you're covered, except for countries where war or war-like situations are there.
Okay.
Yes, coverage is worldwide, 24/7.
For all plans, regardless of which plan that you're taking, like in general.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That is
And
done.
does this mean that they also cover then accidental death, like term insurance plans?
Yes, yes. So basically, when you say term insurance, it is death any cost, which means it covers sickness as well as accident. Now,
Okay.
when you say specifically accidental death, there is also a supplementary benefit or a rider that you can attach to the term plan, which acts as a double indemnity, right? So you have a death benefit, basically a death cover, say of $1 million, and you take another accidental supplementary rider of say 500,000. Now, in
Okay.
case of normal death, basically you die of any other issues like a cardiac arrest or a normal death, then 1 million will be paid out. Now, in case you die of an accident, then the 1
Okay.
million, which is your basic death cover, plus the 500,000, which is your accidental death, it'll be paid
Both.
together. So you get basically paid $1.5 million.
Understood. Understood. Understood.
Or if you've not taken a accidental death benefit, you die in an accident, the 1 million will be paid out. So death
Got
any cost.
Got it. Got it. Understood. Okay, Joseph, we have another question from Abhimanyu Chaturvedi. He says, if a family has two earners, husband and wife, should they both get term plans or should only one person get term plan, like a term insurance plan?
Uh, of course, both of them should get a term plan. I mean, simple as that. So when there are two breadwinners, there are two people who are earning in a family. You have a certain lifestyle that you're living, right?
Yeah.
If one income stops, which means you will have to compromise on the lifestyle. So
Yeah. Understood.
there
Yeah.
are two members who are earning. Definitely, you should have. I mean, both of them should take a life
Should
insurance
take
policy.
up the
And
plan.
even, in fact, if your spouse is not working, also, I would suggest you take a basic life insurance policy for your spouse as well. I
Okay.
mean,
So
you may not get a coverage that earning member would, get, but definitely there is some amount of coverage that can be given to housewives.
all right. So you're suggesting that housewives also, like we should, like if my mother,
We
for
should,
instance,
yeah.
is a housewife, my father should get a term insurance plan for her as well.
Yes, the limitations, there would one condition that people usually, the insurers usually follow. That's a thumb rule that we also follow. Housewives' insurance amount cannot exceed husbands. So if so, housewife in a sense, the earning members, your non-earning members cover should not exceed the earning members cover.
Cover.
So, for
Understood.
example, if the husband is taking a 1 million cover, wife cannot go beyond 1 million.
Okay, got it. Understood. So let's say that somebody has taken term insurance cover and something does happen where the nominees do have to, go and claim,
Yeah.
the amount. What does the process usually look like for that? And what is something that they can do to make that process easier in itself?
Right. See, the first thing that uh, you have to do when you take a life insurance policy is that, tell your spouse or family members that, yes, I have taken an insurance policy. This is basically the policy number, and I've taken it from this particular company. Probably share the documents with them, uh, because we've seen cases where people do not even know that their husband had taken a life insurance cover. So
Oh,
first thing is that. Second, as soon as there is an incident that happens in your family, let the beneficiary or anybody from the family intimate the insurance company, or Policybazaar, in case if you have taken from us, that there's a claim, and we would tell you, okay, what are the list of documents that you need to submit. Uh, Usually, it's very easy and simple.
okay.
And our team actually assists in filling up claims form and helping them sort out the documents as well.
Got it. Understood. So, if somebody has taken an insurance from Policy Bazaar, it's as easy as intimating uh, the team, somebody from the team, and then getting help and assistance in filling out the documents, whatever is needed,
Documents,
right?
yes, yes.
Uh,
So just that you'll have to intimate us. We will follow up with the insurer as well as from the beneficiary, for the documents or the decisions.
Got it. Joseph, we have a couple more questions from the audience. Unati Shah is asking, what are the exclusions for term and life insurance plans?
So basically, the first exclusion that you will look at is the pre-existing conditions. If you have not declared any condition and anything happens due to that, the policy might be void. It depends on some companies which allow pre-existing conditions after 2 years, but some
Okay.
don't. So that is one thing that is excluded. Second is war or such situations are not covered. So basically, if there's a war
Mhm.
declared country and you're going there, that is not covered. Suicide is usually not covered in some cases in one first year, or some cases, some companies have 2 years. Uh, Suicide's not covered. So that's basic exclusions, I would say. Yeah, pre-existing, primarily that is where cases get stuck.
Okay,
So
so if one question I have is if somebody is from a war-torn country, let's say somebody right now, because the Ukraine thing is really big, if somebody from there was to apply for a term insurance, would they get it or would they not get it at all? Like,
so,
would they not
so
be?
we, yeah, sorry. So basically, if there is a war happening in a country, but the person is in UAE and a resident of UAE, we would
Okay,
cover him for that, but there would be an exclusion put in that, coverage is not allowed in that country.
understood. Okay, so if they are in that country, like if they're a resident of the UAE, they can get term insurance,
Yes,
but if they're not a resident of the UAE, and if they're in the war-torn country, then not.
not yet.
Got
So
it.
we usually have a thumb rule that we require residency status here to give them a plan.
Got it. And is that the case with countries worldwide, or like I'm just
So coverage is
trying to?
worldwide. So basically, when I say when we say worldwide, for example, a person from X country, which is basically undergoing a war, I mean, there's a situation there, takes a coverage in UAE, he might not be covered in that country X, but anywhere else in the world he's covered. So anything happens, probably if he travels back to India or say to Pakistan or to US, that will be covered. But if that country where the war is happening, which is excluded, will not be covered there.
Got it. Got it. Understood. Okay, so we have another question from the audience. Avneet Kaur is asking, what is double indemnity? I think this is
So
a term that you mentioned while explaining. Yes.
yes, so basically, you have in term insurance, you take a death plan. The coverage is death due to any cause, right? And sometimes there is an additional rider that you attach or a supplementary benefit that you call, which is the accidental death benefit. And
Okay.
now the double indemnity means when there is a death due to accident, then you get paid for the basic death cover and the accidental death benefit. So it is basically double amount. So as I mentioned in my example earlier, if you have a death any cause cover, which is a basic death benefit of say 1 million, and another
Hmm.
1 million and an accidental death, and you die due to an accident, then a $2 million would be paid out to you.
Got it. Understood. So that's double indemnity.
Yes.
Understood. Okay. Mosri Das is asking, I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. How do you decide on the tenure of your term insurance policy?
Right. So you would have certain milestones in your life. Uh, you can say if you're getting married or you would have a family, your family, you would take something for a longer term, as much as you can, say up to 40 years, which means in case anything happens to you, will your family be able to survive without any income? And is that income enough for a 10-year period or a 20-year period or a 30-year period? Right.
Okay.
Uh,
Hmm.
so it's based on life stages, I would say. I would suggest take the maximum term available, uh, or at least till your retirement age. So if you
Okay.
think you want to retire at age 60, so take maximum cover, which will cover you till 60.
Okay. Understood. I hope that cleared your question mostly. We have another question from Avneet. She's asking, how long does it take from filing the claim to getting it?
Depends totally on how the documentation works. Usually the claims payment are done within 15 days of the requirements being submitted. That's the maximum.
Okay.
Um, but most of the cases get delayed because of submission of documents.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So if people are transparent with their families upfront about the insurance plans that they have taken, this can be resolved, right? Like this could be
Yes,
easier.
it could be easier. So sometimes it happens that they're not able to give the death certificate. I mean, people do not know that I have to submit certain documents. Or if it is a larger claim where investigation is triggered, where basically if it is due to a health condition and it's an early death, the insurance company would require further documentation or proof uh, for certain things, right? So that is the only place where it gets usually delayed.
Okay.
But if your documentation requirements are complete, it gets paid pretty much immediately, I should say.
All right. Understood. We have another question from Tanvi Pathak. She's asking, can we get a waiver on term insurance if we survive the policy period?
So there are multiple term insurance policies. The basic is a level term policy that's usually very much popular, which basically is a pure vanilla product where you pay and you get benefit. There are term insurance policies which has a return of premium. We call it drop, where at maturity or at the end of the term period, if you haven't claimed or there's no claim, then the insurance premium gets paid back. Uh,
Okay.
and that's yes, definitely. And some are basically reducing term, which means your sum cover reduces as time goes. Used mostly for mortgage and all.
Okay.
Yes, to your questions, to be very specific, yes, there are policies which returns you the premium and gets back, gives some kind of benefit back to you.
Understood. The next question we have is from Nupur Jain. What is the best time to purchase term insurance? You've already covered this, but I think some people have joined right now. So if
Right.
you could answer
Now
it
is the
again.
right time. Now is
Yeah.
the right. You should have taken it 10 years before, but if not, take it right away. The
I
earlier,
hope
the
that.
better, I would say, yeah.
Yeah. So as long as somebody becomes an earning member, they should ideally get term insurance, right? Okay. I hope that answers your question, Nupur. There is somebody called Lalit Kumar Chaudhary who's asking, why is there no equivalent company like LIC in the UAE?
Uh, LIC is an old company which has been there. for ages. But if you look at UAE, there are definitely international companies which has been in market for pretty long. I do not want to take names, but yeah, there are companies which has been in the market for, I mean, ever since that I know. I mean, if you inquire, you will definitely have insurance companies. Um, because of the volume, it may not be as big as LIC, but in the region, but worldwide, yes, they're bigger than LIC. But in the region, they may not be as big because it also matters like what is the population in UAE and what is the population in India, plus the transparency and how much have we. I mean, how much people are covered here? It's a very few who have covered. I mean, the percentages, if you see, uh, it would be, I mean, single digit number. If I have to see the total out of the total population, how many people are covered?
Oh, oh, interesting. Okay.
A simple
Um,
thing is people are not aware of term plans, and they still see that it is not a necessity to buy one.
hmm,
Post COVID, the mentality has changed. Uh, we never think that we would die someday. If you ask anybody, we say I'm healthy, I'm fine, I'm not going to die for next 50 years. But life may have a different thing for
plan.
you. You never know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's always better to be prepared than to be sorry later on.
Yeah, if you love your family, if you think uh, you can do something for your family's financial protection, for your kids' education, for your well-being of your family, your parents were dependent, then the first thing you should do is buy a term insurance policy, and then you can look at savings and all that. Protection of your family's financial interest should be a primary goal, which probably a term plan can give you, and then you can think of investments and a lot of other things that you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. When did you start your term insurance policy, Rose? Like, when
My
did you?
my first term insurance policy was sold to me when I was 21. I didn't know that was a policy that I'm buying, but that's the time. Probably an LIC agent, as I say, walked into my house, convinced, and I took the policy. Yeah,
Okay, and since then you have l- okay, so this is another question that I have is, do you only invest in one term insurance policy or can you invest in multiple?
I have multiple. So basically, I took a policy which has a long-term coverage, and as and when there are new things that happen in life, you take additional policies. So
Okay.
once you're graduating, you're into job, your earnings increase, you get married, you have a kid,
Hmm.
you take policies accordingly.
Understood. Okay, we have another question from Anishta Agarwal. She's asking, you said that even a housewife could get term insurance, but how are the plans for a housewife different from, like, how are plans for earning members different from non-earning members?
It is the sum covered. Primary difference is the sum covered that is given. There are different companies which give different limits. Some don't take housewives. Some take and give a limited coverage, say probably about a 500,000 dirhams or a 250,000 dirhams max coverage. Uh, Different means there would be some benefits that you can add on to the insured person's policy, which you may not get in the housewife's policy. But more or
Okay.
less it's the same, except for the coverage amount.
All right. Okay. Understood. One question that I have, Joseph, is what is a claim settlement ratio in a term insurance policy? And how does it help in deciding which one you should buy?
Right. So mathematically putting it, it is basically the number of claims received, and it's a ratio between the number of claims received and the claims paid. Right.
Okay.
So in a year, if an insurance company has got 100 claims and it has paid 98% is a claims settlement ratio.
Okay.
Now, the higher the number, the better, right? You are investing, uh, you're taking a policy, you're investing some money into your family's protection. Now, the basic indicator would be what is the claims ratio. If the claims ratio is really good, really high, which means the company is paying claims, which means again that
Okay.
the process of claiming is easy. That would be a no-brainer to go with those kind of companies.
Understood. Okay. So now let's say somebody who is 21, 22, they've started earning and they have taken a term insurance policy. What additional insurance policies or what additional insurance should they also get in addition to getting a term insurance?
So first thing would be have a term insurance policy. Try to get an additional supplementary benefits with that, which is basically a permanent total disability, critical illness, terminal illness, these kind of additional benefit. Once you're done with that, you think you have enough cover, then probably think of saving policies. There are a lot of saving policies. I mean, if you're interested into investing into insurance company saving policy, there are pretty much a lot of savings policies that is available in the market. Invest into that.
Okay.
Of course, other lines of business are also there. You have to take a health insurance. That is one thing that is required. I mean, required by the law here, so definitely will be covered. So yeah, first thing would be a term insurance policy with the riders, and then additional, if you have money, surplus money, then invest into savings.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Joseph Avneet Kaur from YouTube is asking, can we surrender a term insurance policy?
Surrendering a term insurance policy doesn't give you any benefit. So it's like a prepaid phone line which you use. You pay
Okay.
and you get a coverage, right? So you've paid for a term, you get a coverage. Surrender. So any term insurance policy, which is pure term insurance policy, doesn't have a surrender value. Surrender during the year. So basically, if you've paid an annual premium and in month one you want to surrender, if it's a new policy, you might surrender. You might take a free look period and surrender the policy, which means you get the premiums back within 30
Okay.
days if you surrender. If beyond that, some companies do offer a pro rata compensation, like you've surrendered in the second month, uh,
Okay.
probably if not 10 months, but at least 8 months premium could be refunded. But that depends on company to company, how they
Okay.
calculate whether the premium is earned or not. So it basically we can depend on company to company. But to your question, being specific, there is no surrender value in term insurance.
So if, for instance, I have paid my premium for, let's say, 4 or 5 years, and now I want to, or I feel that there's another policy that I want to take, and maybe, I feel that this is not benefiting my goals. If I surrender it, I don't get anything back.
No, you don't. So you've paid a premium, you've got a coverage for 5 years, right? So
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. Understood.
I mean, I
Uh,
wouldn't suggest if you've taken a term policy, I wouldn't suggest surrender it. If your requirements are increased, then take another policy or increase the benefit if that is available in the policy. Because the premium that you've started paying in 4 years back and same coverage today would be expensive for you. You might have been paying $1,000 annual premium or a monthly premium for a term insurance policy, which you take 5 years back. Today, if you buy it, might be 1,500 or $1,800 monthly. So that becomes expensive.
hmm, understood. We have another question from Travel Beings. He's asking, I smoke. Can I still get term insurance?
Oh, definitely. Some insurance companies have a non-differentiated rate, which means whether you're a smoker or not, you get a average out rate. But most companies have a smoker, non-smoker differentiated rate. Once you declare you are a smoker, you would get probably a little bit higher. You might have to pay a little bit higher premium, but yes, definitely you would get a coverage. I would say it is better to declare if you're taking a policy.
Joseph, my question is how, like, there's an investigation, I'm sure, like when somebody dies, there's an investigation, right? Before the amount is given to the family. If somebody was, for instance, a smoker and they didn't declare that they were, what ways could the insurance company find out? Like, how do they go about investigating cases like these?
And those are very minor things that insurance companies goes behind. If at all they find out, they would say at the time of taking the policy, if you're a smoker, then most companies would, nobody declines a claim. They would say, what was the smoker rate? They would take that premium for a smoker rate and reduce it from the difference of the premium. Basically, they reduce it from the payouts.
All right, understood.
But smoking is, it won't be a big factor that should affect, but ideally, there could be conditions that have triggered because of your smoking, then that can
Yeah,
be an issue.
got it. Got it. Um, we have another question from Lalit Kumar Chaudhary. He's asking if you have a term insurance in the UAE, can you take a loan against it? Any
Yes.
thoughts?
So taking a loan against this, okay, you can basically assign a policy to a bank where you have taken a loan. But since taking a loan from the policy itself is not possible because, as I said, term insurance policy doesn't have a cash value, right? It doesn't have a surrender value or a cash value. It is giving you a coverage for the premium that you're paying,
Yeah,
right?
so
There
it's
is
not
no cash
really
surrender value.
collateral.
Yeah.
Got
But
it. Got it.
if your question is, can I assign it to a bank from where I'm taking a loan? Yes, that you can do.
Understood. Understood. One question that I have is, um, let's say my mother is dependent on me, or somebody's parent is basically dependent on them. They have a single parent, and let's say it's the housewife. In that case, because their term insurance policy basically covers their financial, undertakings going forward, do they still need to have like a term insurance plan for their mother or like a single parent that they have who is non-earning?
So, I mean, parents, if they've retired, they may probably not get coverage after a certain age. Uh,
Okay.
but what you'll have to see is, so what basically the underwriter looks at is uh, not having that person, or probably if the person dies, is there any kind of uh, either a financial implication or anything that happens? I mean, does the family miss anything out, right?
In monetary terms, essentially.
So basically, if it's an housewife, if you're taking a coverage for housewife, uh, and thought forward, nothing should happen. But if your spouse dies, uh, you would require either a maid or somebody would come and assist you, take care of the kids, cook for you, clean. There's an assistance, or and plus mental, all that things are there.
Yeah.
So that's why we give a coverage.
Okay.
So it is not just purely an income replacement, but it is also, to cover up the
Reduce
losses.
stress, reduce the mental load and the
Mental
stress
load.
that they have. Understood. We have another question from Anuj Bhagia. He says, I have had COVID thrice till now. So if I now apply for a term insurance policy, will I have to declare that or not?
Yes, for if you have COVID with, so different companies have different rules. Most companies ask if you had COVID in last 3 months and have you recovered.
Okay.
Uh, Depending on that question's answer, the coverage is given. If you just had COVID, we would probably wait for a couple of days to give you a coverage, and medically, we will have to examine you. Basically, a medical requirement would be raised, starting from an X-ray to anything. There's something called long COVID, which basically is what we look at, not the immediate situation.
All right. Okay. So I hope that answers your question, Anuj. Um, I'm just checking if we have more questions from the audience. Just give me a second.
Yep.
Okay. As we wait for this, what are the factors that one should consider while they are applying for a term insurance plan? Let's say as a young adult, or if somebody was in their 40s, like middle aged, would they have to consider different factors when they're applying for a term insurance policy, or is it pretty much the same?
So I would ideally say that people who are below 35 years old should look at least 20 times their annual salary as coverage. As you grow old, the multiples can reduce. Say a 60-year-old can take about 50-year-old can take about 10 times or 15 times if it is available, but the maximum would be at 20 times, going down to whatever amount you want.
Okay, so all right, got
So,
it.
so 35-year-old would be thinking I would be working till 55 or 60 years. And if I
Yeah,
die, there's a compromise on lifestyle also. The amount of money I'm earning currently multiplied by for so many number of years should be enough for my family to survive.
after that. Got it. Got it. Joseph, do you have anything to say to the viewers today? Do you have any special, specific message for the viewers when it comes to term insurance?
Uh, yes, definitely. But everybody thinks it is something that is not needed. Whenever we talk to clients, whenever people come to us, it's like, okay, we'll take it later. It's not something that is immediate. But many people realize, many families realize that, what if my husband or my spouse or my father would have taken a term insurance policy, we would have been financially secure. So my advice and a request to you is that if you have not taken a policy yet, please reach out to us or to any insurance company and buy your first term insurance policy. If you love, if you think about your loved ones, please have a coverage for their financial interest. Take a term policy which will at least protect them uh, or give them a better future.
Definitely. Joseph, one last question we have from Rohit Sharma. He asks, what is the best combination with term insurance for investment purposes for young adults?
I mean, these are two different topics actually, but uh, so investment is a personal choice, right? Now, term insurance is something that is uh, very basic, that is required to cover your financials and your family's financial interest, basically. Now, when it comes to investment policies, they have different weightage. Some become expensive by the way they are dealt with. If it's an insurance policy, some are cheap, which is a pure saving plan. Now, it will all depend on what exactly are you looking at. For example, there are plans which is purely for your child's education, which means by the time your son or the daughter is in college, the lump sums are paid out for managing their expenses. Uh,
Hmm.
it's basically how you target or what exactly do you want. Whether you're planning it for retirement, whether you're planning it for your wedding or for your kids' education. So it is very specific. Now, there are different plans available for your different needs.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, if you want to discuss that, you can reach out to us as well, or anybody in the market who would be able to help you with what plan exactly you want. Make sure you know what exactly you want.
Definitely. That was super insightful, Joseph. Thank you for taking out the time for
Thank you,
enlightening
Ravi.
us about this topic. And that was it from our side. For all the viewers watching, if you would like to know more about term insurance, you can visit policybazaar.ae for any information and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such insightful videos. Thank you, Joseph.
So much. You have a lovely evening, everybody.
You too. You too. Everybody have a lovely evening. Thank you.